huge amount of furniture ends up in landfill. There are certain furniture companies out there that created a perspective that furniture was a disposable commodity, and I think that was really irresponsible of them. But I think it's going to take a while for people to change their perception. And so we sort of talk about this idea of, being considered in making these big decisions. When we're looking at it from a design perspective, our sort of philosophy is that we want to create future heirlooms. We also couple that design philosophy with a real commitment to servicing our products. So we are designing everything now so that it has things like removable covers, but they still look like a fitted sort of standard sofa, not a dust cover. For our whole education furniture range, everything can be broken down into its components on site. It never has to leave the education facility for it to be repaired, which is fantastic. So it's a real sort of change in philosophy. But I think we are kind of quite far ahead of the game when it comes to things like that. I think we have a huge responsibility. Even if you're looking at SMEs in Australia, when actually 99% of all businesses in Australia are SMEs, we're 50% of our GDP and we employ over 7 million people. So I sort of think every one of us has a responsibility to play our role in tackling climate change and in taking climate action. And I really feel strongly that, particularly for us, we're the originators of products, we're the ones that come up with the ideas. If we don't take responsibility for those products over their life cycle, then really who will? I see very little in government. So that's sort of an area, I think, where there is a real dearth in leadership. I think most of the real leadership is coming from actually probably more privately owned businesses than shareholder owned. I think there's, at some point in the future, if we're really going to be able to tackle climate change, I think this market expectation of kind of continuing shareholder returns needs to change. I think there needs to be a transition to circular economic frameworks for all product development. That's a huge transition for a lot of companies, but I can't see any other way that we can operate really, unless this starts to become part of all companies' thinking and we really start to embrace this as a concept and recognise that, we can't have this disposability anymore. At least a 60% reduction in emissions by 2030 is really what we need. Like, anything less than that and we're just playing at the fringes and won't enable us to transition in an orderly way fast enough to allow us also to take advantage of the incredible opportunities that are out there if we transition to a low emissions economy. The rest of the world's doing it and we're going to get left behind if we don't step on that bandwagon and also actively grab it with two hands and see it as being an opportunity for Australia to play a real leadership role.